Denise, Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, it's Denise, Denise, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party, it's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hey there, guys. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. I'm your host, Denise Salcedo. It is March 1st, and today we are going to be chatting NXT 2.0. Now, first of all, welcome to the show, everyone. It's been sort of a busy day. I cannot stress that enough. Today, I kick things off by creating a new video on the latest that you guys can check out here on F4W Online. If you guys haven't checked out those videos yet, I've been getting some pretty good feedback. People are liking me doing these like really quick newsworthy videos where you kind of get a bunch of like news bits and you get it all like within under 10 minutes. I think all my videos have been between like 5 and 8 minutes. I've been getting some good feedback on those. So if you guys like to be updated with the news and just get everything all really quickly, that's the place to go. So the first one for this week is up. Immediately after that, I was over at Fightful doing a roundtable show with Shaquille and Sean. That was a lot of fun. And then immediately after that, I hopped on with Ian Riccaboni of Ring of Honor, and we did a Facebook stream where I was essentially introduced. And for those of you who have not yet been on my Twitter or on social media for today, I have a little bit of an announcement. I have been announced as the Ring of Honor special guest for the Supercard of Honor show. Special guest host. See, I'm already messing up. All right, special guest host for the Supercard of Honor show on April 1st in Dallas, Texas. So that officially broke here today. I'm so excited, guys. Just to give you guys all a little bit of background of how all of that went down. I've been keeping this secret from you for a couple of weeks now. I remember on one of these shows, I can't remember which one, I told you guys, hey, I'm going to have an announcement soon. I just don't know when the announcement's going to happen. So that was the announcement that I was talking about, which is me essentially taking part as the special guest host for the Supercard of Honor show. How it all went down, they were looking for somebody to essentially fill in that role. And I got in contact, well, someone got in contact with me that got me connected with the person making the decisions. And turns out that that person had not only seen my, not only saw my work, but saw my show, some of my shows, like these shows that I do here. And that was one of the things where I kept telling people, like, you never know who is watching, like what you're doing, etc. So it was kind of cool to see that happen. And, we'll see what happens, guys. I'm going to go try my best and let's see what comes out of it. I have no idea. But anyways, I'm very excited about it. And now it is Ring of Hollywood. But we do got our first super chat of the day. This one is from Cadillac Carson, who says, high five, Denise. Congrats on the Ring of Honor news. Also, excellent Thunder Rosa interview. Keep up the excellent work. So thank you so much for bringing up that Thunder Rosa interview. I cannot tell you how many positive comments I have gotten in regards to that interview. If you have not checked that out, that is over on youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, my interview with Thunder Rosa. It is one of my favorite interviews that I have done. I have a lot of people telling me that it's one of the best interviews that I have done, so I'm taking their word for it. Thunder Rosa is so candid. I said this to her in the interview, and I'll say it again. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and you can definitely see it in that interview. She's so genuine, so freaking real. Check that out, and you'll get what I mean by that. But thank you so much to Cadillac Carson for sending in that super chat. So, Sean Williams says, special guest host, ring announcer. What does that mean? So just to give you guys a little bit of a, so in regards to the Ring of Honor thing where they said special guest host, so I'm going to be doing backstage interviews and pretty much anything that they want me to do. So I'm not going to be the ring announcer. I'm basically going to be like hyping up the crowd and interviewing the talent and that sort of thing. Basically whatever Ring of Honor needs me to do, I will be doing that as the host. So my duties as a host basically fall in line with a bunch of different things. So yeah, so that's the best way to explain it. I probably should have made that a little bit more clear, but I didn't think about it until right now. So let's go ahead and get into NXT, everybody, because this was a pretty good show, and we're leading into NXT Roadblock, which is taking place next week. We got a good card, and I will say that I definitely enjoyed today's NXT. Now, I will say this too. Usually I watch NXT live, and this time, because there was just so much happening, I could not start live. I think I started maybe 25 minutes afterwards. So I fast forwarded all the commercials. I fast forwarded the entrances and so much just to try to get the show done on time. And I think it kind of made for like a more enjoyable experience for me because I just watched the segments and I watched the matches and that was it. So I thought this was a really good show. We got some good wrestling. And like I said, we're heading over to NXT Roadblock. So we got some good stuff out of that. But let's kick things off, everybody, because we got night started hot. We got the night started with the team of Bron Breakker and Tommaso Ciampa taking on Rude and Ziggler, the Dirty Dawgs. So in regards to all of this, I kind of want to start off by talking about what the value is of having somebody like the Dirty Dawgs basically go down and, take part in NXT. Now, I feel when we were doing Grayson Waller and AJ Styles, it really just felt like a tremendous step down for AJ Styles. So while it was cool for Grayson Waller, it felt like a major step down for AJ Styles. So I was like, I like it, but I don't love it, right? And then we got, the Matt Riddle thing with the Shaman, but that was more so just vignettes. But now we're getting, the Dirty Dawgs, and they're coming in here and actually, having these matches and whatnot. So I feel like even though I want NXT 2.0 to be its like own entity with their, their focusing on their own people and the stars that they're trying to develop, I gotta say that, having, again, Rude and Ziggler just adds so much value to the NXT roster. I feel like it just makes it feel like it advances it, it makes it feel more important. It just really adds so much. So while I was watching this, I kind of just thought to myself, man, if we can keep getting guys, from the main roster that aren't really doing much on the main roster that can go down to NXT and, to have a little feud here and there, maybe not somebody at the level of AJ Styles because it would feel like a step down, but, somebody like, Ziggler and Rude, it doesn't hurt whatsoever. It gives them something to do and it helps, just elevate the product in general for the NXT 2.0 brand. So for me, I got to say that there's a lot of pros to having them down at NXT. And that was one of the things that I didn't really realize it until tonight, really, honestly. Okay, so we ended up getting, this was a pretty fun match, but we ended up getting Tommaso Ciampa get the win. He pins Dolph Ziggler after hitting the fairy tale ending. And from here, we get this big announcement, guys. So the big thing that we're getting is that at NXT Roadblock, we're going to be seeing a triple threat match for the NXT Championship. And it's going to be Bron Breakker versus Dolph Ziggler versus Tommaso Ciampa. Now, I got to say, I'm a little surprised that this isn't happening over at Stand and Deliver. Granted, we're still a month away, and I don't know what their plans are for that show in regards to the championship bout, but I don't know. I have a feeling, guys. I have a feeling. I don't see Tommaso Ciampa winning this championship. Like, I don't see him winning the title again, but I have a feeling, a small feeling, that Dolph Ziggler is going to win the title. I don't know why, but today I just kind of felt like there's an opportunity there. Like I said, they add value to the NXT 2.0 brand, but I have a feeling they might go there just to give Bron Breakker a story there. So I have a feeling we're going to end up seeing Dolph Ziggler win the title and then see Bron Breakker, Dolph Ziggler in their own program, or continue on with Dolph Ziggler and Tommaso Ciampa. A bunch of options that we can essentially do. Or they're just going to go ahead and have Bron Breakker actually retain the championship. But I do not see Tommaso Ciampa as an option here for winning the title. But let's go ahead and see what people are saying here. And in regards to this, BTW, if you are new to the show, if you are new to the stream, go ahead and send in some comments, and I will be pulling some of these up as I go through this entire show. We got a comment from Christopher who says he thought NXT was a really good show today as well. And Pile Driver Survivor finisher says, doing the Ciampa pat on the back was nice early on to get the blood flowing. Hey, if anyone is going to get your blood flowing, it is definitely Tommaso Ciampa. That's for sure. So yeah, this was a really good stuff. Zeno Hour says Ziggler has no chance of winning. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think if they want to give people a reason to tune in, they might feel like Bron Breakker's too much of a relatively new star. If they want to give people a reason to tune in, I think they could do it with Dolph Ziggler. But we'll see. All right. Also, thank you so much to Pitts243 who says, hey, Denise, no comment about NXT, but congrats on the ROH stuff. Super dope. Thank you so much, guys. All right, from here, let's go ahead and jump into, we got a quick promo from Gunther, and he basically cuts a promo on Solo Sikoa, says he's going to cause Solo Sikoa to bring shame to his island, and this was my favorite line of this entire promo. Gunther says that he's going to chop the tribal tattoos off of Solo Sikoa. That is right. Chop the tribal tattoos off of Solo Sikoa. And let me tell you something. If anybody's going to chop any damn tattoos off, it is definitely going to be Gunther. That's something that I most certainly believe would actually happen. We got a super chat. Thank you so much to Christopher Marino. Christopher Marino, good fan here, or good, should I say fan, friend of the show. Christopher says, didn't get a chance to watch NXT yet, but wanted to give you a huge congratulations. You are going to kill it at ROH. Oh my God, I really hope so, because if I do terrible, it'd just be like very embarrassing and like public humiliation. And I really don't feel like signing up for public humiliation. So I really hope that all goes well. Thank you so much to Christopher Marino for sending this in. I thank you for your support. All right, let's go ahead and see. We got Lake Lock who predicts that Bron Breakker would actually retain the title. I think so too. Christopher points out the Walter Gunther name thing. So I'll tell you something. As I'm writing down my notes, there'll be like one bullet point that'll say Gunther. The next bullet point will say Walter. And I just kind of keep going back and forth, guys. I don't know what to do. Anyway, so let's go ahead and continue on. After this, we got a quick promo from LA Knight. He's recapping his feud with Grayson Waller. And just like I said last week that we were most likely going to be seeing a last standing match, we are going to be getting a last standing match. LA Knight challenges Grayson Waller. He accepts, and that is happening at Roadblock 2. So they are really stacking up Roadblock, guys. They really stacking it up, because I think given how long they've been playing out this story with LA Knight and Grayson Waller, I think that the last man standing match could also be occurring on Stand and Deliver if they would have wanted it to, but it's not. It's going to be happening at Roadblock. And all right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's get into a quick segment that we got backstage. This was between Indy and Persia. Now, we'll talk about them more later on, but we did get a segment at this point of the show where we see that Persia is secretly texting with somebody, and she puts her phone in her locker and she's being all secretive. We all know it's Duke Hudson, and we'll talk about them more in just a bit. But let's get into the quarterfinals Women's Dusty Cup tournament. So we got the lovable team of Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai taking on Indy Hartwell and Persia Parati. So this was fun. I will say this. This was very, very fun. I thought that there was a funny spot. So there's a moment where Persia literally just gets the hair of Wendy Chu and just starts spinning her like she's a bowl of soup, like she's mixing her witch's brew. She's just spinning her hair. I thought that was really funny. We see Dakota Kai. She gets the hot tag in. Once Dakota Kai gets the hot tag, that's when this match really, kicks into high gear. We see her go full speed, going in on the attack on Indy Hartwell. She hits her with a couple of running strikes to the face. I think she did it 2 times, actually. So that was really fun. She really picked up the pace for this. And she ended up getting the win for her team by pinning Wendy Chu. And I think we were all expecting for Dakota Kai and Wendy Chu to continue on in this tournament. So they advance, and they're going to be facing, we'll talk about who they'll be facing in just a second, since we're going to talk about that in a hot minute. But I really did like, it wasn't like a blowout match by any means, but it was perfectly fine, though. It was fine. Nothing else to add there. Lake Locke says, Walter, his name is Walter. It's Gunther. All right, this is never going to get old, guys. We're just going to argue about his name every single week. Although I have to give credit to, God, what's his face? Oh my God, I'm blanking right now. Never mind. Let me move on. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. So we got a match between Amari Miller versus Lash Legend. So this was interesting because Lash Legend has not really, so we saw her, wrestle last week. She wrestled last week, and I think last week was her first NXT match, because we were talking about that here. And prior to that, we were only really seeing her talk shows, and then her talk shows stopped. We hadn't been seeing much of that. So this was interesting that we were getting the singles match between Lash Legend and Amari Miller, because Lash Legend, she's got some work to do, right? She's got some work. But I will say this. Amari Miller, I think like she hasn't been doing bad on NXT. She just hasn't been like that person that everybody's like, yeah, you know what? Amari Miller is good. Like, she's not that person. Like, people aren't talking about that, right, with her. But in regards to today's match, I kind of really liked Amari Miller in this. She had really nice speed in her matches. She had a nice little moonsault that she did. I thought she really showed out here tonight. So I kind of felt like at this point of the match, I'm thinking, all right, let's go with Amari Miller. Let's get her the win. This will be really good. Let's add another name to the women's division in terms of people that can actually, you know, progress in the division. And so I was really kind of rooting for Amari Miller, and Lash Legend gets the win. And I'm thinking, this is an interesting decision. Well, now I know why they're doing this decision to do Lash Legend. So Lash Legend, she calls out Nikita Lyons immediately after her match, and she's basically pissed off. She's pissed off that last week everybody was talking about Nikita when they could have been talking about Lash Legend. But let's be real. Everybody was talking about Nikita because she kind of broke the internet last week, because she came out and she was like, woo, she was out. And she had a very interesting pin with the splits that everybody loved and all of that good stuff. So she was impressive, right? But now they're going to go ahead and do this feud with Nikita and Lash Legend. So I think, like, at first, I kind of thought, oh, that match is not going to be the greatest, Lash Legend versus Nikita Lyons, but I have a feeling they just want Nikita Lyons to get, like, a dominant victory, and I think the best person to get it up against, or one of the best people to probably get this win against, would be Lash Legend. So they did announce that next week at NXT Roadblock, we are going to be getting a Nikita Lyons will be the guest on Lash Legend. So not only is she going to be the guest, but hey, Lashing Out with Lash Legend is officially back. It was gone for what feels like months now. Yeah, it feels like a good time. Feels like a good chunk of time went by. All right, let's see what we got here. Mike New York says, not enough of Nikita this week. No, they're only giving you like little spurts of moments there with Nikita. And Kev B says Lash Legend versus Nikita. Oh, Lord, can see the thirsty comments on Twitter already. They were really, like, today on NXT, they were really promoting the fact that Nikita was getting over. They did a little video package where they were showing the articles with Nikita's name on it and all of the tweets with Nikita being mentioned. So it's funny because Grayson Waller is the one that has the, like, I'm super popular on social media gimmick, yet he hasn't had a moment where he's getting over the same way that Nikita Lyons did. So anyways, but let's see what we got here. If we got any comments on this, I thought I saw something and I was about to read it, but I lost it. So now I'm a little bit bummed that I lost it. Zeno Hour says it just needs to be a 2 minutes quick squash match. Probably. King of Hueco Mundo says Legend finally getting her character right. Yeah, I liked the Lashing Out with Lash Legend. I liked that she had, I got it. Like, it was very simple to understand. I liked lashing out with Lash Legend. I don't know why that just kind of went away, really. I had no idea why that just went away. Thank you so much to Haj Gulashi, who comes in here with a really nice comment. Sorry, guys. I have the hiccups. All right. Justin Martin says, poor Amari Miller had to get carried out on a stretcher after the match. I did not see that. I did not see that. People are pointing out that she got carried out of the stretcher after the match. How did I not notice that? Okay, thank you so much for pulling that up, because for some reason I fell asleep on, oh, you know what it was? I was focusing in on what Lash Legend was saying about the whole thing on Nikita Lyons, and then I guess I didn't realize that. Thank you so much for pointing that out, though, guys. Thank you. Alrighty, guys, let's continue on. So after this, we had a backstage segment between Josh Briggs and Briggs Jensen, and I'm just gonna be real with everybody. I officially am a fan of these segments. I think I said this last week, but Josh Briggs is actually really funny. The character of being this awkward dude who can't get laid is kind of damn hilarious. I don't know why, but it's working for me, okay? So they have this awkward segment backstage where Josh Briggs and Briggs Jensen are looking on their phone, or rather Josh Briggs is looking on his phone, and they're commenting on what seems to be like they're commenting on women, because they're talking about like, ooh, look at that, you know, I forgot what they were saying, but they were being like very like descriptive and using like naughty words, right? Naughty words. And so as they're doing this, they're so focused in on the phone that they don't realize that Elektra Lopez is passing by. So Elektra Lopez gets supremely upset at the comments that she is hearing, and she thinks that they're directed to her. And so they start, you know, freaking out and apologizing and saying like, nope, we were just looking at cars online. This was not about you, etc. So then Josh Briggs tells Lopez, hey, I'm no longer interested in women. I'm done with that already. I'm focusing in on cars, because we've all know that he's had a rough time at trying to get ladies. All right, cool. But then this is the part that I thought was kind of funny. So Lopez tells Josh, you know, good that you gave up on women, because you wouldn't know what to do if you had a real woman. And Josh Briggs responds with, well, joke's on you, because I've never been with a woman. And so he thought that he kind of had burned her and buried her, but in fact, he buried himself. And so Jensen was just like, dude, come on, bro. Like, come on. So anyways, I thought this was really funny. It's harmless. Personally, it's getting over with me. I'm a fan. We got Power Driver Finisher who says this killed him. And then M. Durred says this was pretty funny. And we got people like this. Good. Power Driver Finisher says, quote, I've never been with a woman. Take that. That's what he said. Yeah. So he thought he was, you know, winning the argument, when in reality, he just buried himself 10 feet underground. Poor Josh Briggs. Get Josh Briggs a woman. You know what'd be funny? Let me see. They could probably do something where, like, I don't know, maybe, who can why am I playing matchmaker? I don't want to play matchmaker. I'm already trying to think of who they can pair him up with. No, I've been watching too much NXT. I've been watching too much kissing on Monday Night Raw. Now I'm starting to pair people up. We're not going there. We're not going there. Continuing on from this. But anyways, thumbs up on the Josh Briggs Jensen stuff. It's getting over with me, everybody. It's getting over. All right, so we're about to move on. We're going to go into Sikoa versus Gunther. And before we do, I just want to remind you guys all that I will be back here tomorrow to talk about AEW Dynamite. It is going to be the final Dynamite before AEW Revolution. So chances are it's going to be a big show. And on top of that, Tony Khan is set to be making his big announcement. Whatever that big announcement is, he's going to be making it tomorrow, apparently. On top of that, we got a lot of stuff, you know, heading in, obviously, into Revolution and all of that. Then, Thursday, Tony Khan is going to be doing a media call. So that's going to be interesting, considering that it's going to be immediately after this big announcement. So we'll see what is said in this media call, etc. I will be on the media call. I don't normally ask questions. If I have a question, I'll ask it, but usually I just chill in the back and tweet. whatever. From there on, we'll be back here on Friday to talk SmackDown and Rampage. Saturday morning, I am flying out to Texas bright and early in the morning, and I will be doing the Mission Pro show. So that's going to be really fun. I'll be doing commentary with Sam Laterna. And then on Sunday, I will be flying from Texas to Orlando, Florida, and I will be getting there sometime around 11-ish, I think. And I will be there for AEW Revolution. And then after AEW Revolution, I'll be doing the media stuff at there. So I'll be getting all of those interviews and posting them up on YouTube. And it's just going to be a crazy week, guys. And then the following day, I'll be here on F4W Online doing the actual post show for that. So it's just going to be a lot of stuff that's happening, guys. A lot of stuff that's happening. All right, but let's go ahead and get into Solo Sikoa versus Gunther. And all right, so let me start off by saying that I'm so glad that this did not turn out the way that I was afraid that it would turn out. I was scared that they were going to, because one of the things I've been kind of complaining about on here is that they've been ruining the aura of what once was Walter. They've been ruining that aura, changing the name, making him look like silly when he's out there and everybody's chanting Walter. And then you have Solo Sikoa, who literally just has a win over Boa, go and challenge Gunther. So I'm already thinking like, there's just too much affecting his aura. The last thing I want to see is Solo Sikoa defeat Gunther, right? There was a chance, and I really thought that it was going to happen. Not because I believed that it would happen, but rather because I expected them to do it. So anyways, I was not looking forward to that, and I thought, oh no, if they really have Solo Sikoa defeat Gunther, I'm done. I'm done, right? But this did not go that way, and I'm so glad. So we get into this match, and immediately we see Walter hit all of the clotheslines. We see him hit his chops. He gets the big boot on Solo Sikoa. There's a moment in which Solo Sikoa finally brings the big dude down to the mat, and when he kicks him to the face, and he kind of gets a little bit of momentum there, but it doesn't really last long because Walter ends up getting back up and literally just beats the crap out of him. There was a good moment though where Solo Sikoa did a splash on the outside of the ring to Gunther, and then he tried to execute it again inside the ring, but instead Gunther moved and didn't get the splash whatsoever. So then we see Walter chop the back of Solo Sikoa, and he hits him with 2 power bombs and gets the win. It's a clean as fuck finish. I loved it. Thank God, because I was so worried that they were going to continue to ruin the aura of Walter. Stop ruining it. So anyways, this was the way that it should be. Kudos to Solo Sikoa for trying. Toodaloo. Good day. Bye-bye. All right, let's go ahead and see what people are saying here. And let's see what we got here. And let's see. This one is from Kevin, who says, am I the only one that wanted to see Reigns versus Walter instead of Reigns versus Lesnar? That would be something. I want to see Walter versus Lesnar. I mean, I know that's not going to happen, at least not right now. But can you imagine that? Oh, I would really. Oh, I would like that. Yeah, I would really like that. Damn, now I'm depressed. I'm really depressed because now I do want to see that. I want to see Walter versus everybody. Let's just be real. Let's be real. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. So anyways, this ended up playing out very nicely. So thumbs up there. And we go back to Persia and Indy. So we have a quick little backstage segment where... Did I already skip the match? No. Okay. So we have a quick little yeah, we talked about the match already. Okay, so we have, sorry about that, guys. I am getting DMs. So we have this backstage segment between Indy and Persia and Duke Hudson. So Duke Hudson and Persia, from the looks of it, are dating. They're a couple. Boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know. But they're an item because she's hugging him and she's wrapped in his arms and all of that good stuff. And Indy Hartwell's just there and she's just looking and she's all like disgusted by it. At first, I didn't know if she was jealous or just irritated. And I've come to realize that she's just irritated. She is still hung up on Dexter, but Dexter thinks that there's something going on between Indy and Duke Hudson, when in reality it's Persia and Duke Hudson. But Duke Hudson's kind of being like a douche because even though he had his arms wrapped around Persia Parati, he was kind of giving the ojos to Indy Hartwell. So yeah, Anyways, that's the love portion of today's show. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to Hardland versus Draco Anthony. They haven't really been hitting us over the head with the whole Joe Gacy thing. So that's been a nice little break from that. So we have this quick match with Hardland and Draco Anthony. Hardland gets him with some rights and lefts. Hardland smashes his head on the mat. Gacy is looking up and he's giving his creepy little smile. Hardland defeats him. And when he pins them, now correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Maybe I wasn't paying attention before, but was this the first time that Hardland did like this X thing while he pins people, or had he done that before already? I think this was the first time I legitimately noticed it, but he does this like X thing when he pins somebody. So whatever that means. Maybe, I don't know what that means. After the match, he hugs Draco, and that's about it. There's not really much else to say about that. But now let's go ahead and jump into one of the matches that kind of came out of nowhere, and not came out of nowhere because that was part of the tournament, but in terms of I had low to hardly no expectations whatsoever for this match. And then I ended up kind of going, shit, I'm a fan of these people. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And thank you to Zeno Hour, who says that he has actually done the little X thing before. I just noticed it for the first time today. All right, so Cora Jade and Raquel versus Valentina and Yulisa. They are part of the Dusty Cup tournament. So going into this match, I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be a clear victory for Cora Jade and Raquel, as it should be, right? Okay, well, after watching this match, I gotta say, Valentina and Yulisa, they really came out of nowhere. One moment we're seeing them and they're all smiling and dancing and doing this, and it's really cute, and that's about it. And then the next moment you're like, oh, they got a lot of energy, they got some presence. And then the next moment they're doing like all of these cool moves, and you're like, what? Where'd they come from? Dude, I'm a fan of Valentina and Yulisa. Like, yeah, they're still a little, a little green, and they're working on things and all of that. It's not everything's not crystal, everything's not, crisp just yet, right? But I really enjoyed them today. I thought that they really came out there and they were fun. They were fast. They were exciting. They made you pay attention to them. I'm a fan. I'm rooting for them. And so even though like I went into this match thinking it's got to be Cora Jade and Raquel, and I still expected them to win because they're the focus has been on them. I really thought that Valentina and Yulisa kind of put themselves on the little NXT 2.0 map during this match. There was a moment where, I forget if it was Valentina or Yulisa, but one of them literally launches the other person over the top rope, and she just goes flying. It was just a very good visual, followed by a tope right afterwards. I mean, this was very fun, very surprising. Like I said, it really came out of nowhere. Raquel, obviously being the powerhouse that she is, she literally just beat the crap out of both of them afterwards. But there was a lot of back and forth in this match that really made it pretty exciting. So they ended up winning, Raquel and Cora Jade, as we all expected. And now we're going to be seeing Cora Jade and Raquel versus Wendy Choo and Dakota Kai. I'm expecting to see Cora Jade and Raquel defeat Wendy and Dakota. So I'm not expecting to see Wendy and Dakota go either way. I think it's definitely going to be Cora and Raquel, at least on that side of the bracket. But let's go ahead and see. How did you guys feel about Valentina and Yulisa? I think they really came out here. Daniel Rodriguez says, see you bobbing and dancing your head. Like, I need to ask you, do you know how to dance bachata? No, I don't actually. I don't know how to dance that. I was in the dance team, but we did more like jazz and ballet and like hip hop and all of that type of stuff. Lyrical, that sort of thing. And let's see what people are saying in regards to this. This is from Christopher, who says Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade versus Yulisa and Valentina match was fun and good. We got people putting it over saying they are a good team. Justin says, one of my favorite things all night was watching Gigi Dolan being thoroughly unimpressed by everything. I honestly just didn't really care. Like, I think it's giving us a little break from Toxic Attraction, right? But they're just watching. It's not anything to be like Well, maybe at least for me to be over the moon by, but I'm sure there's other people that are like, ooh, toxic attraction. Ooh. All right. Let's continue on. We got Raymond Kosas who says her going backwards over the top rope was amazing. Yeah, it was really good, guys. Like they put themselves. We see you, okay? We see you, Valentina and Yulisa. We see both of you. And I know what? I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Okay, backstage, we have a little bit of an awkward segment. And I say this is awkward because it was awkward, all right? This was my least favorite thing on NXT tonight. So we had Saray, who has been an interesting person to watch on NXT because they recently changed her character and she's doing the little, schoolgirl thing. That's what she's doing. And so they have this segment where she's backstage with a bunch of other women in the locker room, and she's like showing them their necklace, her necklace that she got from her grandmother that has special powers, and it transforms her like she's Sailor Moon, right? So she's showing her necklace, and all the girls are like, "Yeah, it's so nice. Oh my god, we love it." And she's like, "Yeah, it's so great. Woo woo woo." And then Tiffany Stratton comes, and she says like, she butts in and she tells her, like, "I'll give you another necklace. Like, give me I forgot if she offered her a necklace or offered to take the necklace off her hands. One of those things, right?" And Saray is like, no. She says no. So Tiffany gets super pissed off and just throws her up against the wall and beats the crap out of her. And all the other girls are like, what? Like, why would you do that? I mean, there was literally 5 girls and not one of them helped defend Saray, but whatever. So this was essentially your little high school mean girls thing where you have one girl just beat the crap out of another girl and bullying her because she's different and she's celebrating her little necklace. So I didn't like it because they're making Saray seem like she's a little girl, and she's not a little girl. She's a grown woman, and it sucks because you have a bunch of other grown women around her, and then they're making her seem like she's a little girl. So it was a little iffy. All right, let's go ahead and continue on from here. So after this, we got Andre Chase versus Von Wagner. Very quick match. Chase goes right into the attack on Von Wagner. Good for him. Hits him with lefts and rights. Really comes at him with a lot of energy, but literally gets one chop from Wagner and is pretty much out from there. He gets distracted by a student, and this causes Von Wagner to win. There's really not much else to say about that. Nikita Lyons. We talked about her already. My bad. We already spoke about her. Before we get into the main event, which I absolutely loved, let's talk about the matches that have been announced for NXT Roadblock, which is taking place next week. We got Bron Breakker versus Dolph Ziggler versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. Again, my prediction is either Dolph Ziggler or Bron Breakker to win this. We got Imperium versus Creed Brothers. That is going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that one. And it is going to be for the NXT Tag Titles. So will we see brand new champions, or will we see Imperium retain? Personally, I want Imperium to retain, but I wouldn't mind it if Creed Brothers won because I also love the Creed Brothers. All right, LA Knight versus Grayson Waller in a last man standing match. I honestly think that Grayson Waller should win this one, but that's me. And then lastly, we will have the Women's Dusty Cup continue. And again, Nikita Lyons will be coming out on Lash Legends talk show. Alrighty, and lastly, Zeno Hour says Saray is supposed to be a college student. I don't think so. I went to college. I didn't see nobody acting like that. I think, no, they're making her too little girlish, kind of similar to what they were doing with Alexa Bliss, just without, I was going to say without all the magic, but she technically does have magic. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on, everybody. Pal Driver says, did you see the chick outside eyeing him? Eyeing who? Who? LA Knight or Grayson Waller? Who was eyeing who? Damn. I hate when I miss stuff like this. All right. And we got a comment from Brandon Hewland who says, show wasn't bad, but it wasn't memorable. Good. It was fine, I suppose. It was not a bad show, guys. I've seen some bad NXT 2.0 shows. This wasn't it, guys. This was a good show. All right. So let's get into the main event, which I freaking loved. And we have a good outcome coming out of it. So Pete Dunne versus Carmelo Hayes for the NXT North American Championship. Dude, I don't think I can put over Carmelo Hayes enough. Honestly, he is doing such a great job as champion. All of his matches I have loved since the moment we saw him in the NXT Breakout Tournament to winning the title to defending that title. I think that Carmelo Hayes is the brightest talent in NXT 2.0. Hands down. He is the person where when I watch him wrestle, I think to myself, like, damn, imagine if he would have been around with the old NXT and he would have had time to grow and develop with the old NXT. Can you imagine that? Like, literally, imagine that. He would have some banger matches with a bunch of people. So I just really want to put over Carmelo Hayes because he is really doing such a good job. He's the best NXT North American champion that we've had in recent months because, well, they didn't really do nothing with the last couple of NXT North American champions, and then they all got released. Well, most of them got released, rather. But anyways, so what I'm trying to get at is give his flowers, man. Give Carmelo Hayes his flowers because he deserves it. But anyways, I figured this was going to be a good match, and it was. Literally, right off the bat, Pete Dunne and Carmelo are just like both clotheslining each other, or rather trying to clothesline each other, but because they're both doing it, you're just seeing them end up just hitting each other, and that ends up evolving into like them throwing like a bunch of punches to one another, so it evolves into something different, but that was really cool. From here, we basically just see a lot of back and forth action. We see a really nice moment where Carmelo does a hurricanrana and gets it transitions it into a crossface. I loved that little sequence. That was good. There was a moment where Dunne and Carmelo were on the top rope and Trick Williams tries to get involved and Pete Dunne just grabs his fingers and snaps them. And so then from there we end up seeing Carmelo Hayes get the victory over Pete Dunne. So this was a great match, good victory for Carmelo Hayes. And he also announced that they're going to be doing a ladder match at NXT Stand and Deliver. So we're going to be seeing Pete Dunne and Carmelo Hayes in a ladder match over at Stand and Deliver. So I think that's going to be a banger of a match. This was a banger of a match. Thumbs up, man. This was good stuff. Like if you didn't watch NXT 2.0, I would at least watch this match. This is a match that I would say go out of your way to actually watch. But that's pretty much it, guys. That was the entire show here today for NXT 2.0. We got a comment from Kev B who says Carmelo is a superstar, can see him thriving on the main roster. He has good matches versus anyone. And yes, please give him muchas flores. Justin says Hayes is in a real zone, delivering big time every match. Dunne seems to have hit a wall in NXT. What reason is there for him to still be there? He's hit a wall and he's hit it repeatedly. Unfortunately, there was a moment where I thought that they were going to pull the plug and actually have him be champion, and they didn't. And now it feels like time has passed him by, like that window has closed. I could be wrong, but just my gut feeling is that the window has closed. It just feels like it. It doesn't feel like it's going to be happening anytime soon. But it was still, regardless, a good match. Alrighty, everybody. That was NXT 2.0. Thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in here and checking out the shows. I appreciate all the love, all the support from each and every single one of you guys. Do not forget to give this video a like. Check out my latest news videos here on F4W Online. Or you can head on over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com and youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, and check out that interview that I did with Thunder Rosa. Such a great conversation. Other than that, I will see you guys here tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. What will the big announcement be? Bye, everybody.